we are doing real words this quarter. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently today than I did last time because I want to set you up for success. And then I want you to tell me if you like it this way, or I have an option C too. So the last time we did it, I just told you the spelling rules. I'm like, this is a rule you have to know for this word. You have to know that A says at the end. You have to know that the tap to rule. I told you what rules that you have to know to spell the word, and then I just said spell it. That's option 1. That was last time. Today, I'm going to show you the word, tell you why it is spelled the way it is, let you study it, and then remove it and have you spell it. That's option B. Option C, which I might do at the end, and then you tell me which one you like the best, is to only give you the lines and the vowels, and I'll probably split the syllables as well, and then still tell you the patterns, the spelling rules, and then have you spell it. So first we're going to start with just studying the word and then having you spell it. Okay, so let me share my screen. Not that one. Okay. So I want to show you this word. Laborious. This word is laborious. Here's why. Here's what's going on in this word. This A, let me just, no, I don't want to do that. This A is making the schwa sound because when A is at or toward the beginning and there's a vowel in the next 2 spots. So it's different than the tap 2 rule. The tap 2 rule is if there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, but this is different and it's only for A. When A is at or toward the beginning, either here or here, and there's another vowel 2 doors away, right here, then it changes to the schwa sound and says most of the time. This O is following the tap 2 rule. It's saying its name O for 2 reasons. One is the tap 2 rule. There's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, so it says its name. The second reason is when R comes after an O, that O says O. Just like in the word or for. When an R comes after an O, it says O. Now this this happens a lot in words. It's making the long E sound because when I comes toward the end of a multi-syllable word, a longer word, and there's a vowel right after it, it changes to the E sound and says E. And then O-U-S is a common suffix that says us. So when you hear us at the end of the word, it's usually not going to be spelled like this, especially if it's a longer word, a multi-syllable word. You're usually going to have that O at the front there. That is a suffix. It comes after labor. Okay, so we have la, bor, e, us. Take a few seconds to study that, and then I'm going to remove it, and I want you to spell it in the comments in 3, 2, 1. Spell laborious for me in the comments, please. Laborious. Laborious. Amazing. Beautiful. Good. So do you see what I mean about setting you up for success instead of just throwing you into the deep end and saying swim? Okay, so this is option B of me showing you the word, explaining how it's spelled, and then you studying it and then spelling it. This is option B. I'm going to do this 1 or 2 more times, and then I'll do option C, and you tell me which one you like the best. Okay, our next word. This one's going to be a little easy for you, but I wanted to explain it. Explain it so that you'll know how to spell it next time you go to spell this word. So this is grammar. The A is saying what you would expect, but it's this AR. Sometimes people want to spell this word like this because they hear at the end, and is a very common ending. ER is usually how you spell the sound. So this is a very educated assumption on how to spell this word. However, AR can say when it's at the end, like calendar or cedar. When AR is at the end, it makes its unstressed sound and sounds like So this is the correct spelling of grammar. So I'll let you look at that and then spell it in 3, 2, 1. Spell grammar. Grammar for me in the comments. Spelling grammar. You guys are stellar spellers. Look at you go. Amazing. It's gotta feel good though, right? Setting you up for success and you're like, okay, now I get it. That's all anybody had to tell me. They just had to explain it to me and now I can spell it. So this might be a good way to do it. I just don't want it to be too easy. So I'm gonna rely on you. Let's do this one more time and then we'll do it the other way. Okay, this word noticeable. Do you notice anything about noticeable that might be tricky for spelling? Is this E? A lot of people don't know if they should keep the E or drop it. Because in spelling class, we learned that if you have a base word like notice, and you're adding a vowel suffix, a suffix that starts with a vowel like that, you're supposed to drop the E, right? So a lot of people do. And then they end up with this. However, now that C does not have an E, I, or Y after it, and it needs one of those 3 letters to say S. So this would say noticeable. So if that E is making a C or G before it, make it soft sound, you have to keep it there, even if you're adding a vowel suffix. So noticeable, we have, let me just show you the rest here. So we have that O, which is making its long sound because of the tab 2 rule. ICE can say is. It says is in a lot of words. These 2 suffixes both say the same thing. Is. It's not ice and it's not ace. It can be ace sometimes. It can be ice in 1-syllable words. But when it comes at the end of multi-syllable words, ICE says is. So this is how you spell notice. We're adding the suffix able, and we're keeping that E there to protect the soft sound of the C. So take a look at that. Get ready to spell it in 3, 2, 1. Noticeable. Why can you not put an S there? Notice. You'll find that a lot of words, Anne-Marie, end with a CE rather than S, because this often makes words plural. This is a very common spelling for the S sound at the end of a lot of words. Yeah, so not only are you guys now spelling noticeable correctly, but you're spelling it with confidence, aren't you? There's no guessing going on here. You're like, well, I know exactly how to spell this and I know why it is spelled the way it is. All right, so tell me your feelings on me explaining the word, letting you study it, and then letting you spell it. Is it good or is it too easy? And then we're going to try the next option, see which one you like better. Give me your feedback in the comments so far about how we're doing it so far. All right, good, good, too easy. I like this method. I like it. I love it. Good. Okay. Might be too easy in the middle. All right, so it was a pretty even split. Let's try the second option then. So in this way, I'm going to explain the rules still, but we're not going to look at the word. You're going to have to apply the spelling patterns. So that's what spelling is, and that's why it's a little more difficult, because you have to, what's the word? You have to be intentional and apply the knowledge that you've learned. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. But it's active. It's an active process. For reading, it's a passive process. You have to recognize spelling patterns. For spelling, you have to generate them. You have to remember, recall, apply, and generate them all in your mind. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible. So let's try this middle of the road method. All right, this word looks like this. I'm also going to give you the syllables. Okay. This rule for this vowel is the tap 2 rule. So you know the tap 2 rule. If it's long, then you don't need to double this consonant. If it's short, then you do. Okay? This follows the tap 2 rule. And also, you need to know that O, it's an O, can make its long sound for several reasons, actually. One reason is the tap 2 rule. There's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. Another one we did in our phonemic awareness warm-up, O will say O if the next letter is an R. Here's the other one that we're going to be using in this word. O will say O if the next letter is an L. Okay, so an O can say O for 3 reasons. The tap 2 rule, the next letter is an R, or the next letter is an L. There's also other reasons, but we don't need all of them. And this word is a foreign word. And when you have a foreign word that ends with an E sound, it's usually spelled with an I. Sushi, linguine, ski, Hawaii. All these foreign words that end with an E sound are often spelled with an I. In English, we spell the E sound at the end with a Y. But this is a foreign word, so the E sound at the end is going to be spelled with an I. Okay, now that I've reviewed those rules that you'll need for this word, spell the word broccoli. 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 And then let me see your answer. Broccoli. I gotcha, Sarah. I got you, Mia. That makes sense. That makes sense, Clement. Okay, broccoli. 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 Okay, so our consonants, we have B, A, K, O, L, E. Bra, ah, right here. Ah is usually spelled with an O. Since it's a short sound, we have to double the C. Short vowel sounds require 2 consonants after them. So far, so good? Brock, O. This O can say O just fine for 2 reasons. The tap 2 rule, and the next letter is an L. And this is a foreign word that ends with an E sound, so we're ending it with an I. Broccoli. Broccoli. Nice, Sheldon. It's a little more challenging, right? I would say about half of you in the comments were able to spell that correctly. So it's a little more challenging, but you'll let me know after a couple more which method you prefer. Okay, next. As long as I'm not just going to let you spell it incorrectly and then not give you the answer and the explanation. So you're going to end with an understanding of how to spell that word. So it's okay if it's not spelled correctly the first time. as long as you understand it when I do it. Okay, next. I'm giving you this word because so many people say it incorrectly. And if you're saying it incorrectly, then if you're hearing it and if those sounds are messed up, then it's not going to be spelled right. So let's do this one. Okay, you need to know for this vowel the tap 2 rule. If it's short, you need 2 consonants after it. It already has 2 consonants after it. You can see that, so you don't have to double anything. Right. I think I got this wrong. Let me look. Okay, for this is also just the tap 2 rule, and this is also just the tap 2 rule. So all you need for these vowels is just the tap 2 rule, but it's the consonants that are tricky with this one. So make sure that you have this number of consonants and the right, and that the vowels that you have are the dotted ones. These are the vowels. Let me just double check mine. Okay, the word is frustrated. 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 Nice, Sarah. Frustrated. Beautiful, Beverly. Frustrated. It's those R's that are the tricky part, right? Nice, Layla. Frustrated. Beautiful, Joseph. Frustrated. So close, so close. Okay, frus. So I broke it up into syllables for you so that we can do it one syllable at a time. Frus. F, s. Tray. T, a. Ted. T, d. So far, so good. So it's these 2 R's that most people miss when they say it. They usually leave this one out altogether, and a lot of people say frustrated. So they miss the R when they're spelling it because they're not saying it. But there's an R right there. Frustrated. Okay, so for the we have a U, which can make it short sound right here just fine because there are 2 consonants after it. Tray. For the A sound, we're using an A, which can make its long sound just fine because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. We're spelling it with an E, which follows the tap 2 rule just fine. Plus it's the ed suffix. Frustrated. Frustrated. Okay, now here is the part that I've been looking forward to the most. I'm going to ask you to spell all of the words that you have learned today. Okay? So, are you ready? Put it in the comments. Spell the word laborious. Spell laborious. 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 Good. Here is laborious. Nice. Beautiful. Spell grammar. Joe, you like this option? Okay, grammar. Spell grammar. You remembered. We are not putting an ER at the end of this word because AR can make the ER sound when it's at the end. Nice memory, my friends. Spell noticeable. Noticeable. Don't forget that E. You need it to protect the soft sound of the C. There's noticeable. Beautiful. Spell broccoli. Broccoli. Don't forget those 2 C's for the tap 2 rule for that O to make it say ah, broccoli. Spell frustrated. 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 Nice. Well done. So now we're going to just say option 1 for today was when I gave you the word to study it. Option 2 was when I didn't. Which one do you like better, 1 or 2? Did you like looking at the word and studying it? Or 2, a little bit more of a challenge? Okay. 2, 2, both 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. Okay. That's good to know. I want to set you guys up for success, but I also want it to be a little bit of a challenge, so I'll be working on this. If you're coming to my reading class, I'll see you over there in 20 seconds. If not, have a wonderful day being wonderful. I'll see you on Wednesday, my friends. Bye, everybody.